New music from Guns N' Roses, Bare Naked Ladies, and Green Day, sort of. A whole lot more, too. It's Friday, August 18th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock, a channel providing you with links to new music from legacy rock, alternative, and indie artists who made their mark in the 20th century. Give me just 3 minutes or less every week, and you'll stay up to date on the latest from your favorite bands and artists. This week's new single releases include Perhaps, a piano-driven track from Guns N' Roses, originally recorded during their Chinese Democracy sessions. The version of the song that's out now is a new recording. No word yet on any sort of full-length album. I'll keep you updated when there is. Joni Mitchell is releasing a demo version of her classic Help Me from the upcoming box set Joni Mitchell Archives Volume 3, The Asylum Years 1972 through 1975. The complete 5-disc set arrives October 6th. Black Oak, Arkansas's cover of Monster Magnet's Space Lord is streaming now. The Devil's Jukebox, their upcoming covers album, is out September 1st. Known for their 90s hit, All For You, Sister Hazel releases the single Coconut Trees this week. Another new track from Bare Naked Ladies drops this week. It's called One Night. It rocks a lot harder than most ladies' tunes do, for like the first 6 seconds or so. Still a good tune. Dolly Parton and Paul McCartney team up for a remake of the Beatles' classic Let It Be. Green Day have released a demo sessions disc to preview their upcoming 30th anniversary edition of Dookie. That complete package comes out September 29th. Talking Heads release a deluxe edition of Stop Making Sense this week, and the band have announced that they will reunite, although not to perform, at a screening of the film September the 11th at the Toronto Film Festival. There's a new 44-track Aerosmith Greatest Hits released today. 3 CDs or 4 records set on vinyl. A 50th anniversary edition of Robin Trower's Twice Removed from Yesterday is out now. It features 3 unreleased versions of album tracks, the B-side of the Man of the World single, Take a Fast Train, and 4 BBC John Peel sessions. It's available as a double LP or 2 CDs. New live albums out now include Live in Brooklyn 2021 from Sonic Youth and Live in MSG from Slipknot. You can click on the Playlist tab to check out the music on this week's episode and every episode moving forward. If having all of this information available to you in one quick and easy, convenient weekly video sounds like something you can use, please like, subscribe, share a link with a friend. I'd like to get to 1,000 subs as soon as I possibly can. Do a lot more with the channel. I don't have a sign-off figured out for the show yet. Some people act like they punch the camera. I'll figure something out next time. New music from Roger Waters, Alice Cooper, Candlebox, and more. It's Friday, August 25th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock, a channel providing you with links to new music from legacy rock, alternative, and indie artists who made their mark in the 20th century. Give me just 3 minutes or less every week, and you'll stay up to date on the latest from your favorite bands and artists. Former Pink Floyd singer-bassist Roger Waters shares a new recording of Time from his upcoming Dark Side of the Moon redux. Stray Cats rocker Brian Setzer delivers a scorcher this week. The Devil Always Collects, new album of the same name, is out September 15th. Here I Am Again is a single taken from Melissa Etheridge's My Window show, which hits Broadway beginning September 14th. Veteran alt-metal rockers Helmet are back with their first new music in 7 years. The single is called Holiday. The new album Left will be out in November. Best known for their Pretty in Pink soundtrack hit If You Leave, a new single from 80s new wavers Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark arrives this week. Bauhaus Staircase will be the title track from their forthcoming new album. Realm of Minor Angels, that's a new single from Australian alternative rockers The Church this week. The Godfather of shock rock is back, as Alice Cooper delivers his 29th studio album, Road. New from former B-52 singer Cindy Wilson, it's Realms, her second solo LP, and spoiler alert, it's kind of fun and dancey. New from 90s grunge rockers Candlebox, it's The Long Goodbye. Singer Kevin Martin plans to retire from music after the band's upcoming tour. Dutch metal guitar god Adrian Vandenberg's namesake band returns with Sin, their second album since reuniting in 2020. Hey Man, Nice Shot or Take a Picture? Which version of Filter will show up on the algorithm? Find out today. Sticks and Stones is only available as a bonus track on the Japanese deluxe edition of the new Blur album, The Ballad of Darren. Nick Cave and Warren Ellis releasing the live album Australian Carnage this week. And Tonight Longhorn from college rock pioneers Husker Du. If you found this video helpful, please do the whole like and subscribe thing, click the bell to receive notifications, leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock and alternative artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. Now, if you're ready to check out some of this week's tunes, Click on the playlist above. New music from Peter Gabriel, Bryan Adams, Duran Duran, and more. It's Friday, September 1st, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock, a channel providing you with links to new music from classic, alternative, and indie artists who made their mark in the late 20th century. 2 new songs from Canadian rocker Bryan Adams, Sometimes You Lose Before You Win, and You're Awesome. Both songs are included in the soundtrack of Office Race, a made-for-TV movie premiering on Comedy Central next week. Peter Gabriel continues to release preview tracks from his upcoming IO album, as the Bright Side mix of Love Can Heal is available now on all streamers. It's hard to take your eyes off the singles video. It's produced by Aardman Animations. New from Duran Duran, it's Danse Macabre, from their soon-to-be-released Halloween party-themed covers collection of the same name. The album will also feature the band's take on classics by Talking Heads, the Rolling Stones, Susie and the Banshees, and more. Economies of Scale, that's the first single from Porcupine Tree singer Steven Wilson's upcoming album, The Harmony Codex. Bumblebee is a surprise single release from The Tragically Hip. Fans of The Hip know this isn't exactly a new song, having possibly already heard a low-resolution MP3 leaked on the internet several years ago, but this remastered version will be included on their 25th anniversary edition of Phantom Power. That's out November 3rd. Their first new album in 3 years. From Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders, it's relentless. Veteran shoegazers Slowdive release only their 5th album ever in their entire 30-year career. Everything Is Alive plays a little closer to the band's dream pop leanings. And The Devil's Jukebox arrives today, an all-covers album including Sympathy for the Devil, California Dreaming, and many more from Black Oak, Arkansas. Island Records pays tribute to Tom Waits' mid-period this week with remastered reissues of Swordfish Trombones, Rain Dogs, and Frank's Wild Years. If you've ever been looking through your record collection and thought to yourself, "Oh no, I don't have any Deacon Blue," today's your lucky day, as the veteran Scottish rock band releases You Can Have It All, the complete album collection. The box set includes all 10 of the band's studio albums, also 2 B-sides and rarities compilations, and Peace Will Come, a brand new album of deconstructed and rearranged acoustic versions of various songs in their catalog. And this week, the 40th anniversary deluxe edition of The Broadsword and the Beast comes from Jethro Tull. 5 CDs, 3 DVDs, including Steven Wilson's stereo mix of the album, various demos, master mixes, rough mixes, a Dolby 5.1 mix, a live in Germany 1982 concert, a recreation of the 1982 tour program, a 164-page book featuring interviews with band members, and more. And more! New live albums this week include Peter Frampton at Royal Albert Hall, recorded in 2022. That's available on CD and digital. Captured in 1976 at 2 of music's most legendary venues, Neil Young and Crazy Horse release Orion Burakan. It's available for the first time ever on vinyl. If you found this video useful, helpful, or at least a mild diversion for the last 3 minutes, do the like and subscribe thing, click the bell to receive notifications, tell a friend about it, leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. Now, if you're ready to check out some of this week's new music, there's a link for the playlist. You can check that out at the link up above. And if you missed last week's episode, there's a link for that up here too. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. New music from the Rolling Stones, plus what film composer released a rock album this week. It's Friday, September 8th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I'll provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic, alternative, and indie artists. This week's single releases include Angry, the lead single from what will be the first album of all new music from the Rolling Stones since 2005. The video stars Euphoria, White Lotus, and Handmaid's Tale actress Sydney Sweeney. Short-time Yes guitarist turned film composer Trevor Rabin releases Push, another track from his forthcoming album Rio, that's out October 4th. New full-length albums this week include a new release that features the Pixies, Nathaniel Rateliff, Margot Price, Orville Peck, Bootsy Collins, and many more on the Leon Russell tribute album A Song for Leon. Swedish prog rock legends The Flower Kings are back with their 16th album. Look at You Now is all about vintage vibes with an analog feel reminiscent of legendary 70s albums designed to transport you to a bygone era of rock. That's what their website says anyway. I couldn't have put it better. The first new album from Sparklehorse since the death of founder Mark Linkous drops this week. Bird Machine is a collection of previously unreleased material. Former Throwing Muses singer Kristen Hirsch is back with Clear Pond Road. It's available on vinyl and CD and comes bundled with either a t-shirt or a tote bag, just in case you feel more aligned with the album's cinema road trip vibe. Duran Duran guitarist Andy Taylor releases his first solo album in over 30 years. Man's a Wolf to Man is out today. Andy's currently battling terminal prostate cancer. Metal guitar legend George Lynch releases his second fully instrumental album, Guitars at the Edge of the World. This week's Spotlight reissue comes from avant-garde chanteuse Tori Amos, issuing her 2002 release Scarlet's Walk for the first time ever on vinyl. One notable new live album released this week, Fleetwood Mac's Rumors Live. It's a 2-disc Rhino Records release of a previously unavailable recording of the band's opening night at LA's The Forum on August 29, 1977. If you found this video helpful, please do the like and subscribe thing. Click the bell to receive notifications. Leave a comment if you have questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. Now, if you're ready to check out some of this week's new music, the curated playlist is up here. And if you missed last week's episode, it's right here. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. New releases from Wilco, L7, Night Ranger, Barenaked Ladies, Semisonic, and what you don't know about the Joker could fill a box set. It's Friday, September 15th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. This week's new single releases include Long in the Tooth is the first new song from Modern English since 2016. Look for their upcoming album 1, 2, 3, 4 early next year. Best known for their 1992 alternative radio hit Pretend We're Dead from their iconic album Bricks Are Heavy, all-female punk grunge hard-rocking group L7 released the climate change anthem Cooler Than Mars. New from veteran alt-country indie rock favorites Wilco, it's the title track to their new album Cousin. Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan releases Longfeather from his upcoming album Lighthouse. I thought about not mentioning this song until my video's closing time, but that would be... New from Semisonic this week, it's Out of the Dirt. Their first new album in 22 years, Little Bit of Sun, is out November 3rd. They're currently on the road with Barenaked Ladies. And Derek Smalls, highly respected bass player from unquestionably the heaviest of heavy metal bands ever, Spinal Tap, releases Must Crush Barbie, just in time for the summer's biggest movie to almost be released as a video-on-demand option. New full-length albums this week include The Devil Always Collects from former Stray Cat Brian Setzer and their 14th studio album, In Flight, from Barenaked Ladies. New deluxe editions and reissues include 38 Specials Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, including 4 bonus tracks, including a live version of Rockin' Into the Night, and Special Forces is also being reissued with 3 bonus tracks, including a live version of 20th Century Fox. These guys obviously really like butts. A special deluxe edition of Night Ranger's Midnight Madness is now available as an import. It features a new 16-page color booklet, enhanced artwork, rarely seen photos, and a similarly packaged version of their 1982 debut album, Dawn Patrol, is also out today. J50, The Evolution of the Joker from the Steve Miller Band. Highlights 27 previously unreleased demos, live performances, studio outtakes, and rehearsals from Miller's personal archive, including 8 never-before-heard songs. Miller also provides narration guiding the evolution of the songs from The Joker. And the winner of this week's most humongous box set of the week is Who's Next? Lifehouse, a super deluxe edition from The Who. It features 10 CDs, a Blu-ray audio disc with new Atmos and 5.1 surround mixes of the album, and 14 bonus tracks. Altogether, it features 155 tracks, 89 tracks of which are previously unreleased, and fresh remixes of another 57 tracks. There's also a 100-page hardback book, new liner notes and imagery. It's a big deal. And new live albums this week include Beck Bogart and a Piece live in Japan 1973 and live in London 1974. That's a 4-disc set. Beloved Portland, Oregon rockers Everclear release live at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Best known in America as the band you didn't know originally recorded Quiet Riot's Come On Feel the Noise, Alive at Reading is available for the first time ever on vinyl from English glam rockers Slade. Also, it's Foxtrot at 50 plus Hackett highlights live in Brighton. That's from Steve Hackett, one-time Genesis guitarist. It spans 3 discs with a total runtime of 5 hours and 10 minutes. Recorded on his 2022 tour, it documents the 50th anniversary of the much-loved Genesis album Foxtrot. If you found this video helpful, please do that whole like and subscribe thing that kids are so crazy about these days. Click the bell for notifications, leave a comment, or if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. If you're ready to check out this week's playlist, the curated playlist is right up here somewhere, and if you missed last week's episode, it's right here. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rockin'. New releases this week from Bush, Blink-182, Roger Waters, The Breeders, Johnny Marr, and a lot more. Plus, one of Rolling Stone magazine's top 500 albums of all time gets a long overdue sonic facelift. New single releases this week include 2 new songs from their eventually-will-be-released album, title track One More Time and its B-side, More Than You Know, are new from pop-punk legends Blink-182. Written while touring with The Killers and Blondie, Somewhere is one of 2 new songs from the upcoming compilation Spirit Power, The Best of Johnny Marr. No music from the Smiths in this package. It'll cover his solo years, beginning in 2013. Less than a year after releasing their most recent album, The Art of Survival, Bush announced the upcoming release of a career-spanning 21-track best-of package titled Loaded, The Greatest Hits 1994 through 2023. It's out November 10th. Check out the brand new single, Nowhere to Go But Everywhere, in this week's playlist. From her forthcoming ELO Covers album, Juliana Hatfield releases her version of Telephone Line. All I See Is You is new from Houston band Blue October. Spinning the Truth Around Part 2 is out next week. Gun Fluff is the latest single from alt-metal rockers Helmet. Their new album, Left, is out in November. Robin Trower's new album, Joyful Sky, is on the way. Sari Shore handles the vocals on I'll Be Moving On. We're getting closer to the release of Roger Waters and his Dark Side of the Moon redux, and now you can preview Speak to Me and Breathe. A Strange Past is new from The Church. It's from the deluxe edition of Hypnagogue. Just 3 new full-length albums this week. Best known for their 1992 alternative radio hit What You Do to Me, Scotland's Teenage Fan Club is back with Nothing Lasts Forever. Longtime death metal rockers Cannibal Corpse released their 16th studio album, Chaos Horrific. It's worth noting that in 35 years, the band has never left Metal Blade Records. And it's Midnight Rose, from veteran rocker and one-time vocalist for Bad Company, The Firm, and briefly Queen, Paul Rodgers releases his first collection of all-new material in almost 25 years. New deluxe editions this week. We've got some good ones. The 30th anniversary original analog edition of Last Splash from The Breeders arrives today. 2 previously unreleased tracks are included in the package, and after more than 35 years, the Let It Bleed edition of Tem arrives this week from The Replacements. Featuring a 2023 remaster, the Ed Stasium mixes of the original album, plus previously shelved sessions produced by Alex Chilton, and an entire 1986 concert recording, the band's 1985 major label debut finally sounds the way it should have sounded so long ago. Couple of other big box sets this week. Candlebox The Maverick Years is a 7-LP vinyl-only release featuring remastered studio albums, unreleased outtakes, demos, and more. Also available on vinyl and CD, it's Dio The Studio Albums 1996 through 2004. If you wait an extra week, it'll be followed by a special deluxe edition that features the documentary Dio, Dreamers Never Die. You know what happens now. I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. Leave a comment, too. It's a thing you can do. If you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists, or maybe anything you'd like to see on the channel in the future. Ding! Get that ding! Hit that bell! Ding! If you're ready to check out this week's new music, it's in the playlist up here. If you missed last week's episode, it's up here. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. A surprise new single, a surprise collaboration, and more dookie than you've ever imagined. It's Friday, September 29th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. New single releases this week. Their residency in The Sphere begins today in Las Vegas, and in a classic "Shouldn't We All Have Seen This Coming" move, U2 releases the new single, Atomic City. Sweet Sounds of Heaven is the latest single from Hackney Diamonds, the upcoming album from the Rolling Stones. Lady Gaga shares vocals with Mick Jagger on this soulful 7-minute slow cooker that also features Stevie Wonder on piano. Bruce Springsteen and Patti Scialfa contribute Addicted to Romance, a collaboration with Bryce Dessner from The National, to the soundtrack of the new movie She Came to Me. The Dark Side mix of This Is Home is the latest preview track from Peter Gabriel's forthcoming album Io. Health and Safety is from Joe Jackson's tribute to the early 20th century music of Max Champion. Recorded with a 12-piece orchestra, look for Mr. Joe Jackson Presents Max Champion in What a Racket in November. Long-running Swedish hard rock vets Europe release a new single, Hold Your Head Up. It's from a brand new documentary titled Europe the Movie. The final countdown to the release of this film, it'll be out early next year sometime. Qualified is new from Blues Traveler. Their new album Traveler's Soul is due October 20th. It's the follow-up to their 2021 album Traveler's Blues. And dedicated to family and friends who lost loved ones in the 1995 bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Building, Trevor Rabin releases the single Oklahoma. This week's new full-length album releases include veteran Chicago indie rockers releasing their 13th studio album this week. Cousin is new from Wilco. It's produced by Welsh musician Kate LeBon. It's the first time the band has used an outside producer since 2009. Steven Wilson describes his new album, The Harmony Codex, as musically more complex than his previous studio album. And this is Steven Wilson we're talking about, so that says something. One-time Judas Priest guitar co-god KK Downing is back with the second release from his new band KK's Priest, The Sinner Rides Again. Last year, Heart frontwoman Ann Wilson said the idea of retirement is nowhere in her comprehension. She backs up that claim this year with the release of Another Door with new band Tripsitter. New in the deluxe edition and reissue department, loaded with unreleased demos, outtakes, their entire Woodstock 94 performance, and more, it's the 30th anniversary deluxe edition of Dookie from Green Day. The Runaways, Neon Angels on the Road to Ruin 1976 through 1978, collects all 5 of the band's albums in one package for the first time ever. A great opportunity to discover the early days of Joan Jett and Lita Ford. 10 CDs and a 5.1 surround sound mixed Blu-ray make up the 50th anniversary edition of Space Ritual from Hawkwind. The third single from the Sex Pistols, Pretty Vacant, is being issued on 7-inch red vinyl in a limited edition run of exactly 4,577 copies. You don't want to be the 4,578th person to decide that you need this. A surround sound mix of XTC's 1984 album The Big Express is out today in a CD Blu-ray edition, and a remastered expanded reissue of The Changeling arrives today from late 70s, early 80s UK new wavers Toya. One live album of note this week, the curiously redundantly titled Live Dates Live 1973 to 2023, from the hard-to-classify Yes, We're Still Here British band Wishbone Ash. Hey, if you found this video useful or helpful, please do the like and subscribe thing, tell a friend about it, call them at work, interrupt them, whatever they're doing, they need to know about it now. Here's something. Leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, or indie artists. Let's have a conversation. That could also be about things you might like to see on the channel in the future. If you're ready to check out this week's new music, the curated playlist is up here. I'm not sure which side I'm going to put it on yet, so I'm doing this. And if you missed last week's episode, you guessed it. Yeah, finger. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. One of 2 new versions of a classic rock album is out now. And what famous movie star finally returned to his 90s band and released a new album today? It's Friday, October 6, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I provide Gen Xers, and anyone else that wants to watch it, I'm okay, it's cool, with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. New singles this week, a 2024 tour and new album titled Little Hope are on the way from the now 2-piece Portland outfit Sleater-Kinney. The first single is called Hell. The all-female glam metal band once known as Diaper Rash is back with their first new music in nearly a decade. Vixen, best known for their late 80s hit Edge of a Broken Heart, return with the single Red. Blink-182 cosplay as the Ramones in the video for their new single Dance With Me, and there's an expanded version of Tom Petty's 2010 album Mojo on the way later this month. Previously unreleased bonus track Help Me is in this week's playlist. New full-length albums this week include, well, at the very least, it's an interesting listen. One of the two new versions of the classic Dark Side of the Moon drops today, this one from Roger Waters. Fans will spot the differences pretty quickly, from the additional lyrics to the absence of Claire Torre's soulful vocal run during The Great Gig in the Sky. Another album that didn't really need a mulligan gets one anyway, as Incubus release a re-recorded version of their 2001 classic Morning View. They're performing live at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles tonight. His first full-on rock album in nearly 30 years drops today. One-time Yes guitarist Trevor Rabin is back with Rio. Speaking of Yes, a 140-gram vinyl-only compilation featuring the original 45 versions of 12 of their best-known tracks is out now. It's titled Yes Singles. If you like your metal a little on the post-punk noise-ish, doom, thrash side, Prong are back with their first new album in 6 years, State of Emergency. And when your bass player is busy saving the world from the Matrix while trying to hide from the Russian mafia, getting around to releasing only your third album in more than 30 years is kind of understandable. But somehow, Keanu Reeves found time to reunite with Dogstar to release Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees. Deluxe editions and reissues this week, it's Van Halen Collection 2. This compiles remastered versions of the band's 4 Sammy Hagar-era albums with an additional disc featuring 8 previously unassembled tracks. The 96-track compilation Joni Mitchell Archives Volume 3, The Asylum Years 1972 through 1975, is available today in a 5-CD or 4-LP vinyl edition. Soft Cell singer Mark Allman's 1991 album Tenement Symphony is reissued in a 6-CD 4-DVD deluxe edition. The vault was thought emptied long ago, yet there's a surprising amount of previously unreleased material to be found on the 64-track compilation Celebrated Together, The Best of Howard Jones 1983 through 2023. And the Tom Waits reissues move into the 90s, with remastered versions of 1992's The Bone Machine and 1993's The Black Rider. If you found this video useful, please do the like and subscribe thing. Click the bell to receive notifications. Leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock or alternative or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. If you're ready to check out some of this week's new music, that curated playlist is... And if you missed last week's episode, I get confused at this part. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rockin'. New releases from Lenny Kravitz, Judas Priest, Ringo Starr, and many more, plus another Dark Side of the Moon release. It's Friday, October 13th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. This week's new single releases include For the Home. It's new from lo-fi Dayton, Ohio indie rockers Guided by Voices. It's the first single from the band's third studio album this year, Nowhere to Go But Up. That drops the day after Thanksgiving. Blue Electric Light will be the next album from Lenny Kravitz. It's out in March 2024. The single and NSFW video TK421 is out now. Violent Femmes have announced that a 40th anniversary edition of their 1983 debut album is on the way, and have shared a version of Gone Daddy Gone / I Just Want to Make Love to You, featuring a verse from that 1954 Muddy Waters blues classic. Best known for their early 2000s hit Bohemian Like You, The Summer of Hate is the latest from Portland's The Dandy Warhols. Invincible Shield doesn't arrive until early 2024, but Judas Priest has set some heavy expectations for that album with the single Panic Attack. Give it about a minute and a half, it really gets going. And my wife's really gonna hate this one. And Verushka is new from Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Only one album released this week of note, and it's not even a full-length album, it's a 4-song EP. Arriving today from Beatle Ringo Starr, it's titled Rewind Forward. Deluxe editions, reissues. In April of this year, Pink Floyd issued a massive 50th anniversary box set commemorating their landmark Dark Side of the Moon album. Today, the remastered version of the original studio album that was a part of that package is being released as a standalone CD, LP, or Blu-ray. Additionally, the band is making available a new 30-minute documentary titled Eclipse, giving Pink Floyd fans a look at a special Dark Side event held in Australia that coincided with a rare solar eclipse that happened there earlier this year. I've added a link to Pink Floyd's YouTube channel if you'd like to check that out. Also on the way soon from my channel is a special episode of No Time to Rock dedicated specifically to Dark Side of the Moon. The late great keyboard god Keith Emerson is fully, completely, and definitively celebrated in a 20-CD box set called Variations. Divided into 5 sections, it covers his time with The Nice, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, solo albums, soundtracks, collaborations, and a wealth of live recordings. Currently in the midst of a co-headlining tour with ZZ Top, Lynyrd Skynyrd released the 4-CD box set 50, spelled with a lot of Y's. It includes all the hits, of course, and previously unreleased live recordings of Freebird, Gimme 3 Steps, and more. The special Gold edition of the Purple album from Whitesnake is now available as a 2-CD Blu-ray or 2-LP set. It features re-recorded gems from David Coverdale's early 70s period as vocalist of Deep Purple, which I think would be Mach 3? Featuring the single Salvation, which topped the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart in 1996, it's the 3-CD 2-LP reissue of To the Faithful Departed from the Cranberries. Look for outtakes, early mixes, 12 live tracks, and more in the package. If you found this video useful, helpful, fun, just the perfect length for your visit to the bathroom, please do the like and subscribe thing. Click the bell to receive notifications. Leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock, alternative, or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. Now, if you're ready to check out some of this week's new music, it's in the curated playlist right up here. Somewhere. And if you missed last week's episode, it's in the opposite corner of wherever I just pointed to. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rockin'. New releases from the Rolling Stones, Blink-182, Night Ranger, and Your Car Could Smell Like Devo. It's Friday, October 20th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. In 5 minutes or less every week, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. AC/DC's Brian Johnson and Jackal's Jesse James Dupree trade vocals on the single Never Gets Old. It will be featured on the latter's upcoming solo album Breathing Fire out November 10th, and yes, it sounds exactly like you would imagine. Another single from alt metal rockers Helmet is available now. Big Shot, it's definitely not a Billy Joel cover. Their new album is out in November. Well, it's here, Hackney Diamonds from the Rolling Stones, their first collection of all new material since 2005's A Bigger Bang. Rolling Stone magazine, unaffiliated, says, they haven't sounded this on top of their game in about half a century. Whew. It is actually a really good record. Elton John, Paul McCartney, Lady Gaga, and Stevie Wonder appear on the record. The gang's all here as One More Time, the long-awaited new album from Blink-182, featuring the return of guitarist and vocalist Tom DeLonge, reunites their best-known lineup. The 12-song package features a relatively tight 44-minute runtime. Houston's Blue October release, Spinning the Truth Around Part 2, Part 3 is out next year. Lighthouse is the third solo release from Guns N' Roses guitarist Duff McKagan. Iggy Pop, Jerry Cantrell, and Slash appear on the album. Just 1 week ahead of a new Dokken release, the relaunched Lynch Mob drop a collection of new material from the band's reconfigured lineup titled Babylon. Traveler's Soul from Blues Traveler is available on CD and all streaming platforms today. It's out on vinyl November 3rd. 50 Years of De-Evolution. The Rhino Records multi-disc compilation commemorating the long-running career of Akron, Ohio new wavers Devo is out today. It's being issued in various configurations, some of which include Devo air fresheners to keep your car smelling very, very modern, and a foldable paper hat resembling the band's iconic red energy domes. The 50th anniversary edition of King Crimson's 1973 album Lark's Tongue in Aspic is available today. The 2 Blu-ray and 2 CD set features Steven Wilson's brand new Dolby Atmos mix, the complete recordings of every session recorded for the album in high-resolution 24-bit 96 kHz stereo. Long story short, this blows the 2012 special edition out of the water. Another reissue from the Pink Floyd camp, as keyboardist Richard Wright's 1978 solo album Wet Dream is now available on a Blu-ray containing multiple new mixes, including, as you may have guessed, a Dolby Atmos mix from Steven Wilson, and the first 3 in a series of 9 limited edition 12-inch colored vinyl singles in the All Juiced Up collection is available now from INXS. Their 1998 hits The Way and Out of My Head are among the 15 tracks included on Smashed Hits, the first live album from Fastball. Goo Goo Dolls, live at the Academy, New York City, 1995, also includes a 7-song soundcheck performed before the concert. It's available as a 2 CD or 3 LP set. Featuring symphonic versions of their biggest hits, from Night Ranger, it's 40 Years and a Night with Contemporary Youth Orchestra. The CYO is comprised of more than 80 teenage musicians gathered from 40 schools across Ohio. If you found this useful, helpful, entertaining, pleasing to the senses, then give me some of that like and subscribe action. Click the bell to receive notifications. Leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts about your favorite classic rock and alternative or indie artists, or things you might like to see on the channel in the future. Much better. If you're ready to check out some of this week's new music, the curated playlist is up here. I'm just gonna decide now. It's up there. If you missed last week's episode, it's up here. And if you'd like to check out my special Dark Side of the Moon episode of No Time to Rock, it's on the screen here somewhere too. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever, ever stop rocking. Too much new music this week. No time for a teaser, barely enough time for the intro. This week's new single releases. The American Dream is killing me. It's the first single from Green Day's forthcoming 2024 release, Saviors. They're going to spend much of that year touring with Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. The zombie-filled video is in this week's playlist. A twin single release from 90s up-tempo alt-rockers Letters to Cleo, Bad Man, and It's Sunny Outside will also be available on a 7-inch vinyl that will be sold in November, commemorating the 30th anniversary of their Aurora Borealis album, which featured the hit single Here and Now. Pat Benatar's top 5 1983 hit Love is a Battlefield gets a sleek, pulsating dance pop makeover at the hands of one-time Bugle and Yes member Trevor Horn and Soft Cell singer Mark Almond. Look for Horn's Echoes Ancient and Modern on December 1st. Originally recorded during 1993's Wildflowers sessions, Amazon Prime members currently have exclusive access to the previously unreleased Tom Petty track, What's the Matter with Louise. You might not think 90s grunge rockers The Toadies and original American Idol Kelly Clarkson would have anything in common, but turns out both are from Fort Worth, Texas, and now both have recorded Since You've Been Gone. It's a new release from Texas Wild, a compilation album of Texas artists doing covers of other Texas artists, being released today by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation. David Lee Roth continues to release tracks from his never-before-released 2007 project with guitarist John Five. You can check out Manda Bala and The Shit That Killed Elvis in this week's playlist. Because of You I'm Crying is new from 80s new wavers Missing Persons. You'll hear Billy Idol guitarist Steve Stevens playing guitar on that track. New full-length albums this week. Danse Macabre from Duran Duran, it's finally here. The 13-track collection featuring 3 brand new songs, plus spooky covers of songs by artists like Talking Heads, Rolling Stones, and Billie Eilish. It's available in multiple configurations. According to vocalist and bassist Andy McCluskey, the newly released Bauhaus Staircase is likely the final album from enduring 80s synth-pop outfit Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Just real quick, get out a piece of paper and try to spell the word maneuvers, and then check to see if you got it right. You probably didn't. Their first new release since 2012's Broken Bones, Dokken returns with Heaven Comes Down. Not to be confused with When Heaven Comes Down from 1984's Tooth and Nail. Sari Shore's soulful vocals contribute to the more R&B bluesy sound of Joyful Sky, the latest album from veteran rocker Robin Trower. Dude is 78 and still slinging axe. Respect. Okay, before we move on to this week's deluxe editions, if you like this content, let's make it like official. If you want more of this content, make it subscribe official. And click the bell to receive notifications. Leave a comment too. To commemorate its 30th anniversary, several multi-format reissues of In Utero will arrive today from Nirvana. Configurations run from a 1LP plus 10-inch edition, 2CD deluxe edition, all the way to a limited edition 8LP super deluxe box set. Hit pause in about 5 seconds if you want to see everything on the super deluxe version. I'll wait. Issued in a limited edition run of only 500 copies, a 2-LP ultra-clear vinyl release of 1998's Monkey is out now from Scotland's The Jesus and Mary Chain. Fans might remember that the making of this album ultimately resulted in a nearly decade-long breakup of the band. Now, I don't know if this is the world's most notorious box set or not, but I do know that Motley Crue is definitely no longer too young to fall in love. The 40th anniversary edition of Shout at the Devil is out now in a deluxe box set. The Crue spent some time earlier this year in studio with producer Bob Rock working on some new material, by the way. Frontiers from Journey is available today in a newly remastered 180-gram vinyl LP, with an additional 7-inch vinyl featuring 4 bonus tracks. Their 40 Years Live World Tour is currently underway, so why not drop this week's other deluxe 8-LP box set, new from Madfish Records and limited to 2,000 copies worldwide. It's Wasp, The Seven Savage, 1984 through 1992. The collection gathers a lot of unreleased live material as well. Originally recorded in just 6 weeks, U2's 1993 surprise release, Zooropa, gets a special 30th anniversary treatment in the form of a 2-LP transparent yellow vinyl version. British singer-songwriter Billy Bragg gathers his entire catalog's punk-flavored protest songs in The Roaring 40, 1983 through 2023. It's available in multiple configurations, including a 14-CD collection. Bragg has several concert dates lined up across the UK and Ireland during the remainder of this year. And one live album I wanted to pass along, New Gold Dream, live from Paisley Abbey. It's a single-disc release from Simple Minds. The concert celebrates the 40th anniversary of the band's 1982 breakthrough album that spawned 3 hits in the UK, including Promised You a Miracle, Glittering Prize, and Someone Somewhere in Summertime. Gen Xers stay up to date on their favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s every week on this channel. This week's curated playlist is up here. If you missed last week's episode, it's up here. And here's a link to my special Rolling Stones episode, in which I shine a light on a few other new Rolling Stone songs of the 21st century that you might have missed. No matter what, no matter how you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. Big news for boomers, a new song from a new Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, stepping away from Motley Crue, and New Orleans alternative rockers deliver a Contact High. It's Friday, November 3rd, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. Before we get rolling this week, I just want to say thanks to everyone who subscribed to the channel, left a comment. A couple of my long-form videos now have passed 1,000 views. The channel couldn't grow without you. Thank you so much. Here we go with this week's new singles. Okay, Boomer, here it is, the final song ever from the Beatles, Now and Then. It cleverly uses sophisticated AI to enhance John Lennon's vocals from the track's original 1979 demo and supplements them with new recorded parts from Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. And honestly, I think it's actually a pretty good song. Look Ma No Brains is single number 2 from Green Day's forthcoming Saviors album due in January. The Saviors tour will cover much of 2024, with dates across the EU, the UK, Canada, and the US. Just before her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Sheryl Crow announces her 11th studio album, Evolution, will arrive on March 29th. Lead single Alarm Clock is part of this week's playlist, written as a tribute to his late mother, and Still, the 11th single from Peter Gabriel's I.O. is available on all streaming platforms. The full-length album is out December 1st. Contact High is new this week from New Orleans alternative rockers Better Than Ezra. It follows the Mystified single released earlier this summer. Their as-yet untitled new album, their first since 2014, is out next year. Guided by Voices released the energetic track The Race Is On, The King Is Dead. Nowhere to Go But Up, their third album this year, arrives November 24th. His first ever solo album since leaving Motley Crue, The Other Side of Mars, is due in February of 2024 from guitarist Mick Mars. Lead single Loyal to the Lie is available now. Survivor founder and Eye of the Tiger co-writer Jim Peterick and REO Speedwagon vocalist Kevin Cronin team up for Dangerous Combination. Peterick's Roots and Shoots Volume 1 will be released on January 12th. Long-running industrial metal rockers Ministry are back with the outrage anthem Just Stop Oil from next year's Hopium for the Masses. The song Road to Freedom is available on all streaming platforms today. The Lenny Kravitz composed and recorded tune will be featured in the Netflix film Rustin. New full-length albums this week. Former Smiths guitarist Johnny Marr curates a collection from the last 10 years away from the Smiths, Spirit Power, the best of Johnny Marr. Available in a 2-LP CD and 2-CD configuration, The package also includes new songs, Somewhere and The Answer. Their first full-length album in 22 years, Semisonic are back with only their fourth collection of new material, Little Bit of Sun. Lal Tolhurst, one of the founding members of The Cure, releases the collaboration Los Angeles with one-time Susie and the Banshees drummer Budgie and noted Irish music producer and mixer Jackknife Lee. U2's The Edge and LCD Soundsystem's James Murphy are among the guest credits. The legacy of the Parrot Head lives on, as Jimmy Buffett's final studio recording, Equal Strain on All Parts, drops on CD today, with a vinyl release on the way in December. Before we move on to this week's deluxe editions, if you like staying up to date on your favorite classic, alternative, and indie artists from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, like, subscribe, comment. This week's deluxe editions and reissues include Oasis, The Master Plan 25th Anniversary Remastered Edition on CD and vinyl. It's a compilation of B-sides that were previously unavailable in a single package up to that point in 1998. And by the way, if you click through to my Amazon.com affiliate link, somebody is selling that on Minidisc. Still on Minidisc, and that's not a new reissue, by the way. Dave Matthews Band's quadruple platinum 1998 release Before These Crowded Streets is being re-released today in a special 2LP vinyl-only edition. This was the band's first album to debut at #1 on the Billboard album chart. Another vinyl-only title, the Vinyl Collection Volume 2 from Billy Joel, is being released today. It's 11 LPs, beginning with 1980's Glass Houses through 2001's classical music album Fantasies and Delusions, and for the first time ever, the 3LP collection, Live from Long Island. And available as a 3CD or 3LP plus bonus 12-inch single, Bob Marley's Catch a Fire gets a 50th anniversary treatment that you can pick up today if you're so inclined. Several live recordings, alternate and extended versions, are included in both configurations. A couple of live albums, actually this one sort of straddles the fence between live album and deluxe edition. Dire Straits Live 1978 through 1992, a 12 LP collection compiling Alchemy, On the Night, Encores, Live with the BBC, and Live from the Rainbow Theatre 1979. It's available today in most places, except the United States. Here in the colonies, we'll have to wait until January. 3 CDs and 1 DVD of Todd Rundgren at the BBC 1972 to 1982. The no-region NTSC formatted DVD, in particular, will allow hardcore Rundgren fans to toss a lot of their bootleg recordings. If you're ready to check out this week's new music, the curated playlist is up here. My special Rolling Stones episode is up here. Last week's episode, in case you missed it, is also up here somewhere. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. Oh my, what a week. This week's new single releases include Sleater-Kinney drop another track ahead of their 2024 album Little Rope. Check out Say It Like You Mean It in this week's playlist. Fans of the recently concluded TV series Succession will see a familiar face in the video. The 3-track single New York arrives today on all streamers from 90s electro rockers Republica. They are set to drop a new full-length album in 2024. It's called Damaged Gods. This is the first of 2 mentions of Gene Love's Jezebel in this episode. Their first album since 2017, Love, Death, Sorrow, is on the way in December. It's a mix of original material and covers of songs by The Cure, Magazine, and the lead single, a cover of the Bowie-esque A Girl Like You by Edwyn Collins. New full-length albums this week include Loaded, The Greatest Hits 1994 through 2023. It gathers the best-known tracks from grunge rockers Bush and their nearly 30-year career. There's also some new stuff, including the current single Nowhere to Go But Everywhere, and the band's hard-to-find cover of the Beatles classic Come Together, available on 2 CDs or 2 LPs. There are those who felt 2016's Dead to the World was the best Helmet album since the band's reunion. Will today's release of Left lead to a rethinking of that notion? This 11-song collection is notably leaner and meaner than many of the New York alt-metal band's previous efforts. It's available on CD and vinyl. Sonic Mojo is new this week from veteran British rockers Foghat. The band describes the album as blues-infused, with a healthy dose of rock and roll and country. 80s new wave vets Missing Persons return with Hollywood Lie, featuring guest appearances from Billy Idol guitarist Steve Stevens and the Knack's Niles Prescott. Jackal singer Jesse James Dupree's new full-length album Breathing Fire drops today, featuring several collaborations with AC/DC vocalist Brian Johnson. Hey, if you want to stay up to date on the latest releases from the classic, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I might just suggest that you subscribe to the channel. Like and comment, too. I mean, look at this puppy. He subscribed, and look how happy he is. Just saying. Okay, deluxe editions and reissues this week. If you're not a Beatles fan, your parents probably are, so you may as well go ahead and work this into the holiday budget. The 2023 editions of the Beatles' Red and Blue albums feature additional tracks not included in the original packaging up to this point, including 2023 mixes of 36 of the combined 75 tracks in what is now a 6 LP set. The recently released single Now and Then, of course, is featured in the Blue Collection. Substance, New Order's best-selling album to date, is now available in multiple remastered configurations, including a 2-CD version, a 4-CD version, 2 LPs plus 3 additional 12-inch singles, and even a remastered 2-cassette version. The 25th anniversary of Meshuggah's Chaosphere drops today on Atomic Fire Records. This album marked the long-running Swedish very metal band's transition into a more technical, polyrhythmic sound. Their 11th studio album gets an expanded 25th anniversary edition this week. REM's Up is available in a 2-CD and 1 very loaded Blu-ray, or a 2-LP collection. If Not Now, When is available today on 180-gram vinyl from Incubus. The 2-LP set is available in limited edition red and marble vinyl editions. Originally released in 1989, the Grateful Dead's ironically titled final studio album, Built to Last, is being issued today in a newly remastered 1-LP vinyl edition. Available on purple marble vinyl, the Thornfield Sessions from Gene Loves Jezebel is being reissued in newly remastered audio. Also arriving today and newly remastered for its 180-gram very limited vinyl release, the 40th anniversary of Mommy's Little Monster from punk pioneers Social Distortion. Something Like Human, the most successful release in the Fuel catalog, gets its second vinyl release today. The 40th anniversary reissues continue from Motorhead, as Another Perfect Day arrives in a deluxe 2-LP or 2-CD set. Both versions add a recently unearthed 1983 concert performance in Hull City Hall. And the 2-LP Ghostly Green vinyl edition of Dead Again arrives today from goth metal legends Type O Negative. New live albums. Soul Asylum, the complete unplugged NYC 93 arrives on all streamers today. This follows the 2-LP vinyl edition that dropped on Record Store Day earlier this year. Indie folk rocker Cat Power follows last year's Covers, her collection of remakes of a wide variety of artists, by narrowing things down to not only one specific artist, but one specific performance from that artist. Cat Power sings Dylan. The 1966 Royal Albert Hall concert is new today on 2 CDs or LPs. Andy McKay and Phil Manzanera's 2018 concert performance of full orchestral reimaginings of classic Roxy Music tracks is available today on CD and vinyl. It's titled Rock Symphony, featuring their best-known tracks Not Sleeping Around, Happy, and more. Ned's Atomic Dustbin's Greatest Hits Live arrives on vinyl for U.S. customers today. A UK import was the only option up until now. And the 1999 recording Live, A Night on the Sunset Strip drops on vinyl for the first time ever this week from LA Guns. Links to the vast majority of titles described in this week's episode are available in the description. If you're ready to check out this week's curated playlist, it is here on the screen somewhere. I'm not going to do that whole pointing thing anymore. If you missed last week's episode, it's here somewhere. I also created a special Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon related episode a few weeks ago, and it's on the screen. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. More than 20 new releases this week. It's Friday, November 17th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. Every Friday, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist of new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. This week's new single releases. The Fix follow up 2022's full-length Every 5 Seconds with the twin single Winter's Time and Someone Like You. Fear of Living from the Lemonheads. A new single from the Lemonheads, but an upcoming solo tour by Evan Dando. A little confusing, maybe. Good to hear a new song either way. It's a country-flavored power pop tune. The first new song in 26 years from Perry Farrell's other band, Porno for Pyros, is here. Agua previews a new EP due in 2024. Trial by Fire is the second single from 2024's upcoming Invincible Shield from Judas Priest. They Want You to Know and so do I. The new single, Crush, from Big Head Todd and the Monsters, is streaming everywhere. No word on a new album. Their ongoing tour runs through next June. 1, 2, 3, 4 arrives in February, but second single, Crazy Lovers, is available now from Modern English. This week's new full-length albums include Dirt on My Diamonds Volume 1, available today from Grammy-nominated multi-platinum blues rocker Kenny Wayne Shepherd. It's available on CD and vinyl. Juliana Hatfield Sings ELO is exactly that. It follows 2018's Juliana Hatfield Sings Olivia Newton-John and 2020's Juliana Hatfield Sings The Police. British new wave ska band Madness released their first album of new music. Since 2016's Can't Touch Us Now, Theater of the Absurd presents C'est la vie. Hey, if you want to stay up to date on the latest releases from the classic rock, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, well, I think Subscribey the Goat says it best. Subscribe. Subscribey the Goat. New deluxe editions and reissues this week. The Story of Everything from Sheryl Crow. This vinyl-only limited edition picture disc is an 8-track collection of songs that were only previously available digitally. The 6th album from Canada's The Tragically Hip gets the deluxe edition treatment for its 25th anniversary. Phantom Power is one of the best-selling Canadian albums of all time in the Great White North. The Juno Award-winning collection, noted for the single Bob Cajun, will be available in 3 CDs and a Blu-ray or 5 LPs and a Blu-ray. Originally titled Horoscope, Brian Ferry's 1994 ninth studio album, Away from Roxy Music, Mamona, is now reissued in a 3 CD or 2 LP package that includes those original unreleased recordings. The triple CD version also includes sketches featuring early alternate versions and instrumentals from that album. Absolution XX Anniversary, or 20th Anniversary, the album that really put Muse on the map, gets the deluxe treatment in a remastered 2 CD or 3 LP set. Bonuses include rare outtakes and live performances. Lavatorium from Sponge arrives today on vinyl. The 25th anniversary of England Made Me, the debut album from British indie rockers, and some might say the inventors of Britpop, Black Box Recorder, is now available on limited edition 180-gram black vinyl that also includes a bonus 10-inch featuring 6 B-sides, 4 of which are on vinyl for the first time. Vagabonds of the Western World from Tin Lizzy, and yes, that's actually how you say it, drops today in a 3 CD Blu-ray box set. There's also a 2 LP and 4 LP purple vinyl configuration. All the hits from 17, Miles Away, Down Incognito, and more are here, as the Atlantic Years 1983 through 1993 covers all 3 Winger albums, plus a demo anthology, in this 4 CD, 4 LP box set. Still a few dates remaining on their current tour, including dates in Golden, Colorado, Sugar Land, and Dallas, Texas, and Key West. Good luck on this one. An opaque blue colored vinyl-only release of Electric, the Rick Rubin-produced 3rd album from The Cult, featuring Love Removal Machine, Lil Devil, and Wildflower, is an independent record store exclusive. Similarly, a 40th anniversary edition of Bark at the Moon from Ozzy Osbourne is reissued on standard black vinyl that includes a bonus poster. There's a special RSD edition on cobalt blue vinyl. Pearl Jam Versus, remastered for its 30th anniversary, available on a single LP Target exclusive clear vinyl edition, 45 RPM 2 LP black vinyl, and exclusively on the Pearl Jam website, a 2 LP Dreamsicle vinyl version, and a cassette version, and a limited edition splatter vinyl pressing of 1991's Fear of a Punk Planet from Orange County pop-punk heroes, The Vandals. This week's curated playlist is available to check out on the screen. Last week's episode is up here somewhere, and there's a link to one of my special episodes also on the screen. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. It's the day after Thanksgiving, November 24th, 2023. Fairly short list of new music this week. You probably won't even be able to finish a turkey sandwich before it's over. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. Every Friday, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. Oral is a new single collaboration featuring longtime Icelandic alternative singer Björk and contemporary Spanish pop star Rosalía. It's a protest song against the farming practices in the Icelandic fish farming industry. Scotland's Simple Minds and Australia's Icehouse team up for a cover of the T-Rex classic Get It On. No word on whether the single is the first single from a larger project or simply a one-off. And David Lee Roth drops Wash and Fold. From his previously unreleased collaborations with guitarist John Five, Roth told Detroit radio station WRIF that the full LP would one day be released. 4 years have since passed. Nowhere to go but up. Their third album this year is new from Guided by Voices. Mr. Joe Jackson presents Max Champion in What a Racket. It's an 11-track collection of songs reviving the music of early 20th century English music hall artist Max Champion, available on CD and vinyl. Queen of Rock and Roll is a new compilation spanning the entirety of Tina Turner's single releases beginning in 1975 all the way up to 2020's What's Love Got to Do With It remix from Kygo. 3 CDs, 5 LPs, and a 12-track single vinyl LP release are available. If you like the idea of staying up to date on the latest releases from the classic, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, which is this, do this, subscribe, comment, bell notification, thank you if you do. All 10 original studio albums from Kate Bush are being reissued today through her new label, The State 51 Conspiracy, on CD and special colored vinyl editions, exclusively available at independent record stores. The re-releases are all derived from the 2018 remasters. And welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Kate. The Yes album sees a single LP vinyl reissue and a 4-CD deluxe reissue featuring the 2014 Steven Wilson remix, instrumentals, rarities, live performances, and the Blu-ray features several remixes, including the 2023 Steven Wilson Dolby Atmos remix. Another notable 70s prog rock outfit, Camel, issues an extremely comprehensive compendium of their early years as Airborne, the MCA and Decca years, 1973 through 1984, assembles 27 CDs and 5 Blu-rays, including 5.1 remixes of their first 4 and 8th albums. I think one of these CDs is just the band sneezing. Huh. An Extraordinary Life, a new limited edition 8-CD box set arrives today, gathering 6 studio albums and 2 discs of rarities from the solo career of the late John Wetton, vocalist of Uriah Heep, King Crimson, Asia. Actually, if you do a little homework, he sang in like 12 different bands. Hard rock, heavy metal, ambient, new age, prog rock, jazz fusion, electronica guitar hero Devin Townsend releases the 25th anniversary of Infinity on CD this week, and look for the 2-LP vinyl edition in December. The Damn Yankees Audiophile Limited Anniversary Edition, the 1991 debut album from the hard rock supergroup, is available now on a 180-gram vinyl pressing. You might get lucky and find a red vinyl edition somewhere. Fu Shu Mang, the 1997 debut from San Jose pop-punkers Smash Mouth, is reissued today in Strawberry Black Swirl vinyl. Goin' Home from the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band is now available in a 2-LP blue vinyl edition. Cinderella singer Tom Kiefer's well-received 2020 release, The Bluesy The Way Life Goes, is issued on vinyl for the first time, including a very cool 2-LP splatter edition. Reflections in the Looking Glass also gets its first vinyl release. It's a 10-track tribute album to goth rock pioneers Susie and the Banshees. The Later Years, 1991 through 1998, is a 7-CD box set from English synth-pop, jazz-funk, dance rock band Level 42, best known in the US for their mid-80s single, Something About You. And Scotland's The Bluebells reissue their 1984 debut album Sisters in a deluxe 2-CD expanded edition featuring 22 bonus tracks. A very short, curated playlist is available for you to check out on the link on the screen. Also, if you missed last week's episode, it's also on the screen. And one of my special episodes is also on the screen. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. On this week's episode of No Time to Rock, people with photosensitive epilepsy. It's important. He did it up. Rich. Mostly. It's Friday, December 1st, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. Every Friday, I provide Gen Xers with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. This week's new singles include JAMCOD. It's new from the Jesus and Mary chain. It's the first single from Glasgow Eyes, out March 8th. The very flashy, and I mean that very much literally, music video features a warning for people with photosensitive epilepsy. 1998's Best New Artist Grammy winner Paula Cole announces a forthcoming album called Low, her first full-length release featuring all new songs in almost a decade. Check out the single The Replacements and Dinosaur Jr. in this week's playlist. Addressing the ongoing fentanyl epidemic, Grace is one of 6 tracks on the upcoming debut album from Tomorrow Was Yesterday, to feature some nifty playing from Rush guitarist Alex Lifeson. The full album arrives February 23rd. What? There's more unreleased 15-year-old music from that David Lee Roth recording session from guitarist John Five? Yep, he did it. Check it out. A 3-track EP from Skid Row spins off from last year's The Gang's All Here. It's a promotional issue to draw some attention to the band's colorfully animated, resurrected music video. The 3-track 7-inch out-of-step outtakes from early 80s DC hardcore punk band Minor Threat presents leftover recordings from their 1983 recording session that led to the out-of-step 12-inch EP, pressed on clear vinyl. And a new single from the Doobie Brothers, Lahaina, features Mick Fleetwood, Jake Shimbukuro, and Henry Capono. It's pretty laid back compared to everything else on this week's playlist. New full-length albums this week include, after spending all of 2023 releasing either a dark side or a bright side mix of a new track at every full moon, Peter Gabriel's long-awaited I.O. is finally available. Multiple configurations to choose from, including a 2-CD version, a 2-CD plus Blu-ray version, a dark side single LP, a bright side single LP, and a deluxe Dolby Atmos version. It's Gabriel's first album of all new material since 2002's Up. And Gene Love's Jezebel's Love, Death, Sorrow features a mix of new recordings and cover songs. It's their first studio album since 2017. If you want to stay up to date on the latest music releases from your favorite legacy classic rock, alternative, and indie artists from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you know what Subscribey the Goat says. Subscribe! New deluxe editions and reissues this week from Collective Soul. Their 7-year itch, Greatest Hits 1994 through 2001, arrives for the first time ever on vinyl from Craft Recordings in Classic Black and 3 other exclusive versions. Sheryl Crow's Tuesday Night Music Club is being reissued on vinyl today. It's a newer, different, better master than 2018's Black Friday vinyl release. For the first time ever, Duran Duran's 2000 release Pop Trash is available on vinyl. If you visit the official Duran Duran website, you can pick up this exclusive 2-LP picture disc version. The 8-LP set Hand of Doom lands across the EU from Black Sabbath, picture discs of the band's studio albums from 1970 through 1978, the Ozzy years, and a limited purple 180-gram vinyl edition of Play Deep from the Outfield is issued today, and it's limited to 3,000 copies. It's another entry from the live series from Bruce Springsteen. Songs on Keys hits all streamers this week. The 2017 release Simple Minds Acoustic in Concert is for the first time available in a CD plus Blu-ray configuration featuring a 5.1 surround sound mix. Of this week's new releases, what are you most interested in? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you're ready to check out this week's new music playlist, it's on the screen. So are some links to some of the special episodes you might want to check out. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. It's important. It's going to take a lot of adjectives to describe this one album in this week's show. I got this. Every Friday, I provide Gen Xers and this front yard squirrel who gets really stoked if somebody says Pearl Jam with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. Another one of their songs that have been floating around for years, written during the Chinese Democracy sessions, Guns N' Roses officially released the new single, The General, on all streamers today. It's the B-side of this summer's Perhaps 7-inch, made available to pre-order in August. Their new album, Saviors, is coming in January, but the third single is out now. New from Green Day, it's Dilemma, Rush bassist and vocalist Geddy Lee releases the 2-track The Lost Demos to all streamers. Newly mastered and remixed versions of Gone and I Am You Are previously unfinished tracks from Lee's lone solo album, 2000's My Favorite Headache. Rumors continue to swirl about a possible rebirth of Rush, including new music and a possible tour. When Cesar Guequian purchased Gibson brands a few years ago, who would have thought that he'd one day launch the Gibson Band? Deconstruction is their debut single. It features System of a Down vocalist Serj Tankian and Black Sabbath axe slinger Tommy Iommi. And former Skid Row vocalist Sebastian Bach drops his first solo single in almost 10 years. What Do I Got to Lose is in this week's playlist. How to describe Neil Young before and after, with so many adjectives.
Ready? Here we go.
A 13-song, career-spanning, continuous play, single-track, 48-minute solo acoustic journey. Available on CD, vinyl, and Blu-ray. If you want to stay up to date on the latest releases from the classic, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, subscribe. First ever 180-gram vinyl pressings of Fiona Apple's Tidal, Win the Pawn, Yada Yada Yada, Extraordinary Machine, and The Idler Wheel, Yada Yada Yada, arrived today. Also look for 180-gram vinyl issues of Electra 2000, You'd Prefer an Astronaut, and Downward is Heavenward from 90s heavy shoegazers Hum, best known for the 1995 alternative radio track Stars. The Best of the Primitives on a 2LP vinyl Dutch import gives you a chance to spin their 2-time hit single Crash, a track you probably best remember from 1995's Dumb and Dumber soundtrack. A remastered Atom Heart Mother, originally issued in Japan in 2021, is now available in the US from Pink Floyd. It's a 2 CD and 1 Blu-ray configuration featuring newly discovered film of a performance from over 50 years ago. And it's the 25th anniversary edition of the debut album from Australian rockabilly punkers The Living End. It drops on CD and special edition red vinyl. Live at the Royal Albert Hall captures 3 nights of concerts featuring entire album performances of Cuts Like a Knife, Into the Fire, and Waking Up the Neighbors from veteran pop rocker Bryan Adams. It's available on 3 CDs or 4 LPs. Both feature an additional Blu-ray. Blue Oyster Cult's 50th Anniversary Live First Night gathers 3 sold-out shows from September 2022 on vinyl, CD, and Blu-ray. The prog rock trio of Keith Emerson, Carl Palmer, and Robert Barry, briefly known as 3 in the late 80s, present Rockin' the Ritz NYC 1988. It's a first-time vinyl release for the 2017 album. 3 different places you can go if you want to keep going. This week's curated playlist, last week's episode of No Time to Rock, and a special episode in which I figure out how to put Rush back together. I said it. I said it. And no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking. I mean, what would younger you say if you did?
Next on...
I get ideas for Death Boomer. Why? Death Boomer. It's Friday, December 15th, 2023. I'm Jim Allen, and this is No Time to Rock. Every Friday, I provide Gen Xers and boomers that are cool with a curated playlist featuring new music from your favorite classic rock, alternative, and indie artists. The Cult revive a previous identity and release the single Death Cult 8323, featuring the new songs COTA, short for Communion of the Animals, and Flesh and Bone on a 7-inch single and on streaming platforms. The tracks will also be included on the upcoming expanded edition of last year's full-length the outstanding Under the Midnight Sun. It's been a while since their mid-80s hits Feel It Again and New Girl Now, but after many lineup changes, the original configuration of Canada's Honeymoon Suite reunited several years ago and have released a slow trickle of new material over the past 5 years. Now, the full-length album Alive is scheduled to arrive in February. The title track is available to check out in this week's playlist. The second single from his upcoming solo album, The Other Side of Mars, due in February, is out now. Right Side of Wrong from Mick Mars is in this week's playlist. And Wash and Fold, another track from David Lee Roth's unreleased 2007 recording sessions with guitarist John Five. I'm including Dawkins' greatest hits in the new releases this week, as this particular 10-track compilation is comprised of all new recordings of their best-known tracks. A metal tribute to Van Halen arrives today, featuring covers of classic Van Halen tracks like Running with the Devil, Hot for Teacher, Ice Cream Man, and more, from collaborating artists like George Lynch, Stephen Pearcy, Fee Waybill, Doug Aldrich, Jake E. Lee, and many more. Beautiful Freaks Eels release Essential Eels Volume 2, covering the best of their 2007 through 2020 output. It's available on CD and 2LP vinyl. If you want to stay up to date on the latest releases from classic, alternative, and indie artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, comments are cool. I get ideas from comments. The 1992 album, The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion from the Black Crowes, is reissued in an expanded, remastered 3-CD or 4-LP set featuring unreleased tracks, outtakes, B-sides, and a 1993 Houston, Texas concert recording. Long-running nu metal mainstays Godsmack re-released their 1998 debut album for the first time on vinyl since 2007. Solos, Sessions, and Encores from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Friends is a 180-gram translucent blue-colored vinyl-only import limited to 2,500 copies. Billy Idol's State Line live at the Hoover Dam. It's on DVD and Blu-ray, not on CD or LP. Why? It's the first ever concert in front of the Hoover Dam. So you really can't just listen to it. This week's curated playlist is on the screen, as well as a couple of other options you can take a look at. There really won't be any new releases to speak of over the next 2 or 3 weeks, so no weekly update videos until January, and no matter what, however you do it, don't you ever stop rocking.